Yes. Just want to try to see what we can do here in this wise. Trying to see if I could share this. And this is a lesson in a session when it comes to looking beyond the horizon, staying motivated in these trialing times. I want to see if I can get this thing done correctly the best way I can. Let's see if it will show up. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Here we are. Being looking beyond the horizon. You know. First of all, my name is Kevin Patrick. Some call me Mwalimu, Swahili for teacher, and I say that which I teach is reverence, and I reverence the womb in which I came out of that gave me birth. Yes, my mother biologically, and some will go beyond the biological reverence. That's fine to a higher source, a higher power. Also been called um, recently educational therapist, enthusiast. Yes. Also, I like to call myself a consequentialist, which means I live, we all have to face the consequences of what we do, good or bad. And I also like to go by the way of a Kohiluf, one who's a symbol of the language of knowledge and peace. Because language is an aspect of one's behavior. When you have peace, we are no threat to each other. Yes, and I say I live my life as an aspirant to be an inspiration to myself as well as to others. Yes. And when I come in the spirit of cooperation. My authority in which I speak from is resiliency, and leadership for me is coordination. And the call is back to uh, the call is to come back to one's humanity. For we was created with human excellence and with dignity and nobility. So the call. So I started this organization called Common Humanity Mission. Just a little bit about myself. Just a little bit. It was the name was helped brought about by a brother by the name of Amnialo Hagos, Ethiopian brother, and we concluded on the name of the organization, Common Humanity Mission. And I realized that which we hold in common is that we are communicators, we are cultivators, and we are promoters. That's a part of our DNA. Well, as you see up there, our mission is to promote the value of self-worth. Our motto is to communicate with precision a clearer image to the world. And that is through five channels of communication: understanding, tolerance, temperance slash temperament, confidence, and respect. And our mandate is to cultivate the light of knowledge, or it should be the potential of knowledge that is in us all, because light and knowledge are inexchangeable. So looking beyond the horizon, staying motivated in these traveling times, because we know that trial and error leads to personal discovery. And the word person in the Latin sense means that which is sound is made. And before there is motion, there is sound, you know? Yes. So looking beyond the horizon. Go to the next slide, please. Is my social health model, because I have concluded that social health leads to mental strain, and social health or social stress leads to mental pain, and mental pain leads to physical harm. That's the process. Because anytime any people who have been psychosocially dislocated, they become emotionally displaced. Yes. Excuse me. Which means they cannot go back to something. It's like if your neurologicals are taken out, transmitters are taken out, and you try to rewire it, or if you're an electrician, you rewire something in the wrong area, in the wrong place, you know, something something not good is going to happen. Um, to being emotionally displaced is like one is unable to deal with the pain and his mental capacity. He's not mentally strong enough, nor emotionally strong enough to deal with the pain. So the negativity. So therefore, he or she will take that negativity out on himself or on someone else. You know, because when we deal with the problem, a problem comes about really when we take our mind, our focus off our goal, and and the problem is not the problem, it's the attitude that we have about the problem. So here's the social health model. We said the task is an understanding, because I said that society is under a social reconstruction where our feelings are becoming desensitized, our thoughts demoralized, our attitude dehumanized, and our communication devitalized, which means what we're saying to one another, we're really not listening when we are bombarded with other mediums of exchange, such as news, media, press, and television, and those who are continuing to be held in high esteem or celebrated. We will listen to them, and will not listen to each other because of the success that they have had in this in a right now here in a capitalist society. Um, I remember a story. I think the Mississippi Freedom Party or some effect with Fannie Lou Hamer, and I believe that there was a congressman by the name of Adam Clayton Powell, and they was giving them like two seats or something in Congress, and Adam Clayton Powell was telling her be cool with that, and she supposedly read back in her seat and say, man, have you ever been beaten and had to pick cotton, and he couldn't answer that question, talking about just accept that that's disrespectful, really, because he was saying, you know who I am, yeah, I know who you are. So to sum it up is that there are people, man, who are not celebrated in the society, in mainstream society, that you should listen to them, and that's the problem. Who is going to be the voice of those people? So you must become your own voice. So the task in understanding, and you see in the middle of that diagram, you see perceived susceptibility, because perception is not reality. It's on its way to reality. People will show you things, and then that becomes a reality, which is not your reality, and we become susceptible to that. The middle diagram or block is really the filtering. It's the filtering, and then resulting into the restoration of credibility, because that which needs to be restored is one's social credibility. Then the effort is intolerance. Then the filter is advantages and disadvantages. You understand the advantages and the disadvantages. That's why I say that the biggest crime one can commit is fraud, only because you promise something that you are unable to come through on. It puts you at an advantage and put people at a disadvantage. So that means the accountability was most important. Accountability. Then we see resulting in readdressing social diversity of one's aspiration. Because when inspiration comes down, one's aspiration goes up, and it's depressing when one is not able to reach his or her aspirations. Perceived severity. Yes. Sometimes we deal with an imaginary hurt, and that's not even there. And sometimes it's hard for us, once again, by being emotionally displaced, to deal with the hurt and pain. For example, there are certain things that happen in one's life and they don't necessarily even know how to talk about it nor want to talk about it. And that's a reality. So what is needed there, and the solution is mediation. So I did not say this too, that I'm also considered to be as a social interventionist. So that's why I come to try to intervene in the affairs of those who are struggling from all types of setbacks, and those who have been psychosocially dislocated and emotionally displaced, and that can deal with housing, that could deal with even a career change, that can even deal with students who want to change their major. You know what I'm saying? And students are struggling now through this what they call a pandemic. They are in isolation because we're really social beings or social creatures. But it's like we move from three stages. We move from dependence to independence to interdependence. And when one has been telling you what to do and how to go about doing it, and you're used to that, and then all of a sudden you're not equipped and prepared to break loose, that can be very challenging, indeed. But it's a challenge. It makes you see things a little more clearly on who you must be able to depend on, because you look at a child as he or she is crawling, as he needs the floor and his knees and what have you, depend on that. But his ultimate aim or goal is to stand on his own 2 feet, his own conviction. So we are dependent and independent and interdependent, which means that we live in harmony one with another. To ensure environment, there is cooperation and trust. Yes. So the time is in the temperament slash temperament, and the only thing that unites us is time. When mother and father gets together, boom, ovulating at the right time. And temperance is self-control, and temperament is the attitude. As I always said, the society is under social reconstruction where our feelings are becoming desensitized, our thoughts demoralized, and our attitude dehumanized. I mean, yes, and our communication devitalized, and our activity destabilized. But this humanization has to deal with attitude, the attitude, and you see where that's the filtering is deal with the health motivation, because as a social intervention, as a teacher of reverence, and as a similar of the language of knowledge and peace, and also as a educator when it comes to um, being a health enthusiast. Um, I also like to say I best serve humanity as being attorney general for humanity when it comes to the salvation of the soul, because the call is for us to come back to humanity, to humanity. And character is the material that has been given to us to build on our humanity. So yes, and then we see the energy is in confidence. Yes, and that's perceived benefits. You know, perceived benefits is such as this wise is that for people who have been treated in such a way, and through the teachings and what have you, is that they really want to help people, but they're really not helping them by being an enabler to them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be, and that's not a benefit. You know what I'm saying? People have to, deal with things and go through even the teaching is called the initiation process or the rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? And we went through the rites of passage biologically by coming out through here to through our mother's womb into this plane of existence, and then there's another rites of passage. So we must learn not to, say, I'm going to help this person, and you become an enabler to that person. Okay, now the results resolving and replenishing one's continuity when it comes to flows and blockages, limitations, and accomplishments. And then we see the nature of is in respect, open-mindedness. These are filters. And you deal with the closed-mindedness, and then we deal with the narrow-mindedness and the perceived barriers. Uh, and it said resulting in reclaiming social solidarity. Because when you have respect, people will perceive coming at you with caution. And remember, I said earlier about psychological social dislocation and emotional displacement. You also realize this is that people who are not able to deal with their negativity, that they will go to the weakest individual who perceived to be the weakest individual. They may not have a weapon that they may have, such as a gun or what have you, that they will, perceive them as being weak because they can't exact the same force on them. But when you have social solidarity, people will perceive coming at you with caution, because the first sign is the cautionary sign. That means you see a cat, if you've never been to a certain place, a certain area, he walks circumspectly. Mhm. So perceived barriers also. SB Fuller, businessman, he was talking about, he was dealing with no race problem. He said, blacks just don't understand business or capitalism. Yes. And that having to deal with being distinguishing between optimism and pessimism. A pessimist, sees an opportunity as as something difficult, and whereas a optimist see difficulty as an opportunity. And there is a Islamic term is that all I promote is the value of self worth, nothing more, nothing less. And the worth is in the degree, is not in the value. Is that out of difficulty comes ease, and because within the difficulty there is relief. Just look at a storm. So slide 3, if we can go there. Okay, just beyond the horizon, staying motivated in these trying times by reinvesting in self. That's There's 5 things that we will learn from this presentation. You will be informed, you will be enlightened, you will be inspired, you will be encouraged, you will be empowered. Be an encourager. The world has plenty of critics already. That's good stuff there. See what the next slide will say. Okay, I seem to be getting this thing pretty good. All right. As Common Humanity has said, we promote um, uh, understanding. I mean, 5 channels of communication, as I stated earlier. If you can't get to one channel, you can get to another channel. Because they are in order perfectly. Because when you have understanding, balance speaks clearly. Because balance is the key to life as well. Then you understand one's tolerance level, and even in relationships one with another. And then you deal with the temperance, and I didn't get the slash temperament because that's like a bridge or a splitting of a atom, whereas the temperance connects to the tolerance and understanding, and the temperament, which should have been the slide on the next one, connects to the confidence and respect. Yes, and also what we say, we offer conciliatory healing. We are promoters of the value of self-worth, practitioners of social economic entrepreneurship, which I am doing right now. Maturity, conflict resolution, character resolve. Um, did I say esteem building and root cause analysis? That's not in there, but we offer that. Also, educators of effective communication and laborers in the field of life transitional endeavors. I like to say, wherever we go, we try to make a impact wherever we go. Yes. So, as that be the case too, um, I would like to say this too, and is wise, is that we offer mature solutions to immature problem. Email is COMHUEM@gmail.com. That's COMHUEM@gmail.com. And the website is www.chumanity.org. www.chumanity.org. And we always say give to the gift of social literacy. You can make a donation through Cash App at CH Mission. CH Mission. Yes. So let's try to get into the slide again. Potential. we must continue to realize that we can rise above, this physical plane, and reach our full potential. And I realize that let nothing pull you down, um, and let nothing uh, to consume you to a point whereas it becomes your prison. It becomes your prison. Yes, community life is not individual freedom. The journey to community life is a journey to our original human excellence. That was something that was written by Brother Imam Muhammad. It also says man's potential is to rise above the animalistic state to his lofty position. If you look at the soul or the spirit of the bird always rise above. So we can see far and wide and what is happening on this particular earth. Yes, and we realize that the earth has a appetite, and we must realize that the open enemy is that when we are not in control of our instincts. Yes. So with the bird rise higher and higher, there's a saying about an eagle that some bird will ride that eagle and be pecking on it. The eagle, acts like he does not feel it. But the higher the eagle rises, the bird has to come off because the bird cannot ride as high because of the oxygen. Yes, he starts to lose oxygen. So that's how it is when we rise above the potential that we have to rise above whatever it is that's going on. Is like the phoenix coming from the ashes and rising above. It is a resurrection. It is a resurrection. Yes. So we are resurrecting in ourselves doing these, um, looking beyond the rising, doing these trialing times that one is going through at this present time by reinvesting in yourself. Yes, that's what's key. Potential and performance. So let your light shine, as Stevie Wonder would say. Destiny is the brightest star. Yes. Next slide. See. Okay. During the first month of people going through unemployment, many individuals experience fear and anxiety, but still unable to stay optimistic. Remember, I spoke earlier about remaining optimistic about what is in view. Remember about the bird, and just beyond the horizon. By the time a person has been unemployed for 6 months, as uh, as long as or longer, fear and anxiety sets in, and the company with desperation, helplessness, and a constant questioning of one's self-worth. So you don't have to question your self-worth, because when you question yourself, you're questioning your intentions. But what you're questioning is the intentions of others whom you possibly depend on. So that's why we must surround ourselves with people whom we could depend on, who have an invested interest in each other for our well-being with no hidden agendas at all. You know what I'm saying? So yes, they value your self-worth. So you are reinvesting in yourself. But this is you. This is your moment. This is your time. This is for you to reinvest in yourself. As I make the adjustments, um, doing this, presenting this presentation, I have presented it before, and some people listen, but I'm making a presentation to drop my buckets right where they are, and I'm presenting it right now. You know what I'm saying? I am presenting and sharing it right now. There's no worry about any fanfare. If it's something is in you, and I don't necessarily give people credibility, but as the term say, just do it. You know, how can you get it or achieve it if you don't go for it? So your self worth, go for it. And these uh, traits, you scream. You just want to scream. You just want to shout. Like, come on, man. No, hire me. I done been through that. When one time I think I went through a problem, and I know some things I bring on myself, because we got to be clear about this. The inner conversations that we're having with ourselves creates our circumstances. Remember one time I had my car repossessed while I was in there sleeping. I didn't have any place to go, and and they was towing it while I was in their sleep. So I got up out the van and said, "Hey man, I'm of course they didn't care." And fortunately, I said, "Man, I'm no no beggar. I'm no bad guy. I'm not no treat me like I'm nobody." You know what I'm saying? And push shove, somebody helped me with some money, and I did the vehicle back. There are many other stories that I can tell in that regard. So hire me. The thing is that you have to employ yourself. You have to apply yourself, because knowledge applied becomes intelligence. Remember, we want to soar above like the eagle, rise above. I think Dr. King says, "You have not begun to live to man move from the narrow confines, imprisonment of his own individuality to the concern of the broader society." I'm paraphrasing. So think when you think you're broad and you're spreading your wings right now, and you are maybe what phase you may be in. You may be on the launching pad of your dreams, your aspirations. You may be in the laboratory right now. I don't know where you are. That's you know where you are and what you're doing and what you're trying to put together, so that you can continue to rise above. And you may be slowly rising above right now. Well, they say it's about the Wright brothers who created the first so-called plane, but the objective is there was probably someone before them, but the objective is it wasn't how high that they had risen, but I mean, it wasn't like they was real high off the ground, but the point was that they got off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so get off the ground. We got to get up, you know, get out and do something. I believe Reverend Ike said this. He was talking about a gentleman. He was telling him, get up, do something, be something. He said, "Man, I've been down so long, I didn't think about getting up." So we must get up when we talk about looking beyond the horizon, because we have to reinvest in ourselves. So that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I'll just move on to the next slide. Yes. So the best way uh, to predict your future is you create it. Now, we look at detox your life in 4 easy steps. Eliminate anyone who lies to you. Eliminate anything that is constantly lying to you. I don't give it media, press, television, anyone in your life. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 2, disrespects you. Yes. 3, use you. 4, push you down. Be patient with yourself. We have to be patient with ourselves, because patience puts you in a position where you become competent. Now you become competent. You become very grateful. And it says it's completely normal to feel sad, worried, frustrated, angry, and lonely. These are human emotions. When you are open and honest about this uh, with your loved ones, you will allow others to help you be patient with you. We have to open up when we need assistance, we need help. We have to be open to one another. And we realize that, said the root word for savior is to open up. You look at a plant, the sunlight hits the plant, and then therefore the plant opens up. Now, how you and I got here, or anyone got here. Something had to open up, and therefore we are here. It goes on to say, you can't fix all your problems overnight. This is patient. Taking things one step at a time. There's a song, "One day at a time," or "One step at a time." Um, at a time will help you run the marathon rather than the sprint, saving up your energy and going further. You can have big goals, but split it into achievable goals. Split it into achievable goals. Like you got up this morning, that's a goal. You know what I'm saying? You took one step. That's a goal. You know what I'm saying? You even went to use the bathroom. That's a goal. You know what I'm saying? And what it did, put you in a position to be optimistic, to build on something that is being very optimistic. That's all. Achievable goals, and do one every day. Learning to have patience with yourself will give you the confidence to tackle goals and approach them with the belief that you can achieve them. Allow yourself to have fun. Many people don't do activities that they enjoy because of fear of judgment. Let loose. You got to shout, shout, let loose. Hug yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do things that you normally wouldn't do, but just have fun and enjoy. Because happiness is the joy that you feel when you are in pursuit of your potential. Yes. We must be very responsible. We also might hold back because of anxiety, because I realize that social stress leads to mental pain, and mental pain leads to physical harm. And when I say conciliatory healing that we offer earlier, is to overcome feelings of distrust and anxiety. I mean, distrust and animosity, which leads to anxiety attacks. Yes. So one might not be considered productive because remember, the mind at its best is to be productive. That which occupies the mind conditions the mind. That's the nature of the mind. So we're going through this deep part. This patience help us to deprogram ourselves and also to detoxify ourselves too, as well, because the brain cells at its best. I mean, the brain cells is constructed to think correctly, considered productive for a activity might not be considered productive for a career or for life in the long run. This concerns causes us to lose patience with things with struggle with this we lose patience with ourselves because we're holding ourselves back. Now, right now I'm having trouble with the scene because I may have the wrong glasses on. That's okay. But we want to stay focused here now. Because I realize that there's two struggles. There's common sense versus nonsense and regression versus progression. So that's why I say we need to learn from reason from the premise of conversations. Yes. Next slide, please. Being patient yourself. Okay. We link our behavior, our performance, and our productivity with our self-worth. Yes. And remember, self-worth is in the degree, and degree is temperature, and temperature has something to do with your attitude. Huh? Yes, yes. Think about it now. Think about it. So the problem that we have, the problem is not the problem is the attitude that we have about the problem. There's always something going on with this technology here. Now, let's look at this in this wise. Let's talk about being patient. I'm just going to go to the next slide. Just going to move forward. A strong soul shines after every storm. Yes. Beautiful picture there, husband and wife, or maybe, just two people. Okay. Don't necessarily have to be husband and wife, but yes. So look at staying mentally activated. That's the next point. We want to stay mentally activated, as we see. We must look for ways to keep your brain active. Remember, the brain cells is constructed to think right. During this time, take a free computer classes, or we can do it online or whatever. Join a book club and do that online too. Crossword puzzle. Be sure to keep up, with events as you continue to learn from and from which they are telling you, and for the sometimes they could be telling you it could be a not the truth, but you can benefit. You just know what to listen to and what not to stay to listen to. So you just want to stay mentally active. And I like to say this with a lot of elders too, is that you have to stay real mentally active. You have to take advantage of this technology. I always try to share it with a family member of mine, without being Pacific in their name, is that whatever this they go, you got to stay active. You have to take advantage of this opportunity. You just can't be um, keep dwelling on things over and over and over again because it's going to get the best of you. Um, hook up with someone of like-mindedness, whatever it is. If you have diabetes, you can hook up with other people who are going through diabetes, and you are part of that club. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be clear about that, man, when we hooking up with like-minded people that can help us through this crisis, this these trialing times that we are going through, because remember, we want to reinvest in ourselves. So as it says here, staying mentally active, stay physically active as well. Weight gain is a common byproduct of unemployment without regular schedule and rhythm to the day. Because I find myself walking around, the track, just staying active as much as I can, because when you're not, this leads to weight gain, and then you start to deal with social comparison. You really start to feel bad about yourself because of your weight. So just be leery of those little things or little subtle things that may come your way and affect you mentally. Next slide. Reinvesting in yourself. You see these different images. One could writing, or could be journaling. One cooking, and you see a little child there is watching him, and one is taking yoga classes, and one is looking at a computer while taking exercise class. It's a beautiful scene, a beautiful image. And maybe you could put the image like this on your wall. You know what I'm saying? You could put, yes, this is good. An image like this on your wall. Okay. Talk about it and validate it. Validate your feelings. Your feelings are real. Your income has decreased and your future is uncertain, and you may lack a sense of purpose, but your world has not crumbled. Your work does not define all of us. A musician plays music. That doesn't define who he or she is. It's just an expression of him. So be realistic about the time frame for gaining new employment, and understand that you are yes, that you are who you are as a person. Not trying to be something that you're not. The most some people who are in the celebrated field, the image that they put out there, and the image that the media put out there, and that's not really who you are. It's not really who you are. And you will say that you are about that money, but it's all about purpose. And our true purpose is to reach our full potential. And that is to really, in the purest sense, is not to reflect carelessness and callousness, and dealing and become very apathetic. Yes, we must rise above the function of this material world. So, and that your wealth doesn't determine really who you are, nor do your status. So, we're talking about a mind. Your mind can play tricks on you. I think a little about the brother Bushwhack did a song called "Mind Playing Tricks on You." Manipulation, mind manipulation, and thought control. We have to be leery about that. And it was said we got to talk about it. Validate it. You know what I'm saying? And but no one needs to validate you. You know what I'm saying? You are validated enough just by you being on this plane of existence. So you got to learn to continue to reinvest in yourself. So yes, next slide. Reward every step forward, even on the most conservative of budgets. It is important to earmark funds and allow you to periodically escape the day-to-day work of securing your next role. I liken to a role as a character. Spend time recognizing with friends and ex-colleagues over breakfast. Well, the breakfast now is some people still get together physically, and some just get together through Zoom. I know a gentleman I know, brother Derek Scott Anthony. He put together Zoom for the guys just to get together and just to break bread via on this technology. And So yes, and you might consider 30-minute foot massage, or local spa or what have you, 15-minute chair spa or whatever. But um, but yes, that's a good thing. We get together with friends because we're trying to reward every step that we make, and we get to know each other much better when we are isolated amongst ourselves than that which we get to know more about ourselves, than we're able to express that with others. You know what I'm saying? Through a VA, through this technology, or Zoom, or any other device. Not that I'm trying to give them any well, uh, um, advertising, but hey, it is what it is. So That's cool. I could use that in this particular expression. I could use this in this particular moment in time. So balance, though, it says validate yourself, but balance validation with problem solving. You would say validate yourself, but it says balance it with balance validation with problem solving. We deal with problem solving skills. Ignore the negative. Even some of your closest friends and family members have the potential to share seemingly small negative thoughts. And that's dealing with the psychosocial dislocation and the emotional displacement again. And if you've been doing something, been bothered with negativity 80% of the time, and the 20% is whatever the 20% is, but it's hard to make up for the 80% of all the time. So you try to catch up. So this one talking about the balance, and then he says you got negative and you got positive. You got to have the balance. We don't want to be too emotional and less logical, and too logical and less emotional. We got to merge the two balance, because balance is the key of life. Some call that ma'at in ancient Kemet. But yes, so even some of your closest friends, come on, man, enough of that. So say, okay, brainstorm with some of the positive people in your life. Hence, it is a in a nutshell is how basic brainstorming works. That means you're leveraging. It's called masterminding, leveraging. So even when we're interacting, talking with one another, we're really gaining the information and what we use to say, well, man, yeah, man, I didn't know that was your interest. You didn't never knew that this guy was into, say, fishing or whatever, but now you know that he is into fishing. So it's coming back to community life, coming back to the human lesson, come back to our humanity, huh? And character is the outgrowth of humanity. So two, uh, get a group of people together to address a problem, challenge or opportunity. You never know what may come out, because we're reinvesting in yourself. As a group, to generate many ideas as possible, as matter, no matter how off the wall they may seem, for during this period. Uh, you know, no criticism allowed. People say, well, constructive value. Give people constructive value. And five, review the ideas, select the most interesting of them, and lead a discussion about how to combine and improve and implement these ideas. Yes, one with another. We're still reinvesting in ourselves. You're still reinvesting yourself, looking beyond the horizon in these trialing times. Yes. Remember this, even the smallest being of our world understand the value of cooperation. I've learned that adequate cooperation leads to proper communication, and that's how you effectively coordinate your power. The purpose of a manifested life is to bring about um, a sustaining reality of unity, cooperation in the midst of diversity, common humanity mission. Just as a reminder, we're here to open small minds. We are here we are not here to open small minds. We are here to connect with great minds. Keep structure in your life. Inhale slowly. Invest in yourself. It is unfair to ask others to invest in your success if you are not willing to do the same. This means using the time, the finances wisely to learn new skills that have a professional service. Rewrite your resume, and yes, invest in new business cards for these weekly networking events and how you are already attending. If you truly believe that you are a priority, you will make it happen. An investment in self development pays the highest dividends. Yes. The doubt gap, misgiving, closing the doubt gaps. If you don't build your dreams, someone will hire you to build theirs. Volunteer your services, your time as much as you can. VA, even through community outreach, even during this pandemic. And there are other innovative ways that we can do it as well through this technology. So always look to the future. Yes, as long as you are staying busy, maintaining structure, and relying on a strong support system, you are in a great position to come out of this tough transition stronger than you were before. Always invest in your future. I can do this. I can do this. Reinvesting in yourself, job, entrepreneur, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. I think Dennis Kimbrough said that. And then here's the social health model once again. Looked at that. And then we have the aspects of wellness. Yes. Until then, I am moving at a rapid pace only because of the time. But we will do this again. And remember, look beyond the horizon. Reinvest in yourself. Until next time, Common Humanity Mission 501c3. Promoters of the value of self worth, communicating with precision, a clearer image to the world through 5 channels of communication: understanding, tolerance, temperance, confidence, and respect. Aspects of wellness: social, can see it, spiritual, intellectual, and can't see the rest of them. But until next time, just want to say, it doesn't, it just keep on moving in spite of. Just do your best. And better yet, the best is yet to come from you. The call is to come back home to your humanity. Reinvest in yourself. Do so the benevolent way. Until next time, feel free to donate. The Cash App CH Mission is the Cash App. And the website is chumanity.org. Talk to you. Thank you.